promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness.
Hey guys, so today is another Devos with Rose video. I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to go ahead and hop right into it. So I'm reading out of Jesus Today from Sarah Young. This is Enjoying Hope Through His Presence. She has a lot of these. I've talked about them in my other videos before. But I love these. So if you're not familiar with these, I'll give you just a little background quickly so you'll understand. Sarah Young is basically writing, taking out of the Bible and things like that, and writing as if Jesus is speaking to us. And so one's called Jesus Calling. This one's Jesus Today. And a lot of people, I think it's a bad thing or whatever, but really she's just, taking things that God has put on her heart and, to speak to others and to speaking it to them. So that's really all she's doing, and I think that's a very real and awesome thing. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. It says, worry is largely a matter of thinking about things at the wrong time. I have built into your brain the amazing capacity to observe your own thoughts. So it is possible to monitor your thoughts and make choices about them. To avoid wasting mental and emotional energy, timing is very important. If you think about certain things at the wrong time, for example, when you're lying in bed, it's all too easy to start worrying about them. We all know that one. This is why it's so helpful to monitor your thinking instead of waiting until you're deep in worry. You can interrupt anxious thoughts and change the subject. I want you to discipline your mind to minimize worry and maximize worship. I love that. This will require much ongoing effort, but you'll find that it is a path to freedom. When you realize you're thinking about something at the wrong time, a worrisome thought at a time when you can do nothing about it, take swift action. Tell yourself, not now, and direct your mind elsewhere. The best direction for your thinking is toward me. So I love that. It's actually not done. There's one more sentence. Draw near to me by expressing your trust in me, your love for me. This is worship. So I love that because I've heard many times, worship is about shifting your focus from the problem to the problem solver. And I love that, and that's why worship is one of the reasons, one of many, why worship is so powerful, because you might be worried about something, you might have something on your mind, but when you get in the presence of God like that, whether it's in your bedroom, whether it's at church, no matter where it is, your focus begins to shift. I almost forgot that word, but your focus begins to shift to God, and that is the best place for it to be. So we have this verse here. It's in Luke chapter 12, verses 22 through 26. I love this, so I'm going to just read this and stop talking. And then Jesus said to his disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body, what you will wear. Life is more than food, and the body more than clothes. Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap, they have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable you are than birds. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest?" And I love this. I love Jesus. I love how real Jesus is, and how, you got to read the Bible and you got to kind of think about where Jesus was coming from in that time when he's reading it. And I love this because he's saying, consider the ravens, consider the birds. They really have nowhere to live. They essentially have nothing, but God provides for them. And, how much more important are we to God than the birds? And so you think he's not going to provide for you? The birds eat, the birds stay alive, the birds are protected, so it's just something to think about. He protects all of creation. Why wouldn't he do the same for you? He created us to love him and to be loved by him. So of course he's going to protect us. Of course he's going to provide for us. So why are we worrying about, just something that ultimately at the end of the day probably isn't even a big deal? Why are we so focused on that? Life is more than food and the body more than clothes. I just love this verse so much. And I love kind of how sarcastic Jesus can be. You know, you gotta understand, like, Jesus was a real person. I honestly think Jesus was probably hilarious. Like, you gotta think about it. I think it was funny. God created us in his own image, and people have personalities and are funny and, you know, are quirky, and I think God is like that too. So, you know, I read it like, who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? Like, basically, what are you doing? What's your point? You know, why are you doing this to yourself? You're just hurting yourself in the long run. So I think that's so incredible. And then we have Revelation 14:7, one of the most powerful books of the Bible. Worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea and springs of water. And I just love that. That one goes really without being said. You know, worship him. Just worship him. And, you know, focus on him and put your focus on him. He created all of this. And that's kind of what I get out of that verse. I mean, he created everything. He created you. He can take care of you. I promise you. You know, you're going through health issues. He created your body. He can heal you. He can get you through it. You know, he'll be right there with you. He knows what he's doing. And so, you know, I just think that that is so awesome. You know, we can trust him. He is far bigger and far stronger and far greater than we are. So let's just put our trust in him. So yeah, that's kind of our devotional for today. I think that's awesome. And just leave your thoughts and your comments or just your interaction with me in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. I hope you guys are doing incredible today. I hope you're having a great day. God bless you guys. I'll see you later.